Good morning, everyone. Today is August 1st. My name is Tony, also known as T Jinx on Instagram and Heal and Reveal on Facebook. And I'm doing a little something different here. Gonna do a love reading by the elemental signs. And what I mean by elemental signs is, you got your four basic elements: your fire, your water, your earth, your air. And each one of the zodiac signs are lumped into one of those categories. So the first one I'm going to do is going to be fire, which is containing Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. I'm an Aries. I'm kind of like what you call the cardinal fire. We're the flame of itself, and then you also have the Leo, which is the fixed fire, and Sagittarius, which would be the mutable. The attributes all overall for that category of fire is we are strong in our emotion. We're enthusiastic. We're passionate. We're temperamental. We tend to be achievers, and we have a interesting personality. So I'm going to do four separate videos. The first one is going to be fire. I am using the Ascended Master cards by Doreen Virtue. Here's a copy of the box if anybody's interested. There's only 44 oracle cards, but to me, they speak volumes. The way I'm going to break this reading down, and I don't know if the picture's coming out clear. This is a love grid I did, and these are rose quartz, and that's a rose quartz desert rose right here in the middle, which is a form of selenite, but they're all love vibration related. I'm going to do four corners. The top corner will be um, the high side of what's going to be going on in your love life for the month of August. The south side will be the low points of what's going on. The west corner will be what I'm going to call the masculine side, or what you're trying to control in your love situations. And the excuse me, the right side will be the feminine side, which I'm going to relegate as into what you should be trying to create or cultivate. So we're going to have the high points, the low points, what you're trying to control, what you need to be creating. And I'm going to go ahead. I've already shuffled the cards, and I'm going to throw them one by one. So there's your high point. There's your low point. There's what you're trying to control. And that's what you need to be trying to create. So the first card we got is what you need. The high side of your situation for the month of August for the fire signs is positive change in Parvati. It's pretty cut and clear. I mean, you need to be trying to assess your whole situation in whatever your relationship is. And I do have to throw this disclaimer. Sometimes your relationship is truly speaking towards yourself. It's not about your love for someone else or your marriage or anything like that. You read through that however you see fit. I'm not going to dictate that, but I will throw that out there is that sometimes a love reading is strictly a call for self-love. And speaking of self-love, I have my little self-love altar set up over here. I brought it for the grid. So in the sense of what the high points of what you need to be working on in August is your fire signs need to be paying a lot of attention to what's going to bring them positive changes. If you already know that, first of all, we're in Mercury retrograde too. Mercury retrograde goes on until August 19th. Mercury retrograde tends to have a effect on relationships and the sense of communication. So the higher side would, tie into that in the sense of just trying to make sure that everything you're working on is going to be for what you want your life to be. Not just what's going to get you some temporary peace, but which will get you to the higher state of balance that you should be seeking in a relationship as well as in self. Coming down to the lower side of what's going to be going on in the month of August is it says to take charge of this situation. It's the Moses card in reverse. With it being in reverse, to me, this is saying that, you need to stop thinking that you have total control over the situation, but you need to also, kind of like submit yourself to understanding that there are going to be some things that need to be fixed. And it doesn't mean that you're going to have your way in everything that's going on. So it's a little bit of submission, but not naivety. It's telling you not to try and get too militant and forcing your way through things, especially if you're not seeing things clearly from both perspectives. If you're just looking at it from what you want and what you need, and not basing it on what your partner is wanting or needing, or again, if this is a self pertaining card, as into what your higher self is going to be needing versus what your ego self is wanting. So, I mean, if you think about the Moses figure, I mean, he pretty much was, he didn't even see himself as worthy. In the allegory of Moses, he didn't see himself as worthy of being a prophet of God. You know, he was a stutterer. I can't do this. I can't do that. So he was kind of like a self-defeatist energy, and he was thrown into a position, of greatness. And he had to more or less take charge of the situation to quote unquote lead his people out of the fictional allegory. I'm sorry, out of the allegory of the Ramesses situation with him in Egypt. So again, not everything is going to be something that you can easily control. You will have to pick apart what needs to be fixed versus what can be controlled and what you are actually manipulating and controlling. And again, I hope that makes sense to somebody. So basically, the lower side for the month of August for us fire signs is stop trying to exert our will a little bit too much and just understand when you need to part the waters and run yourself clear. So there are going to be some people or some things or some situations that you may have to run through that ocean or the Red Sea, I should say, and you know, let it be drowned out. Cleanse and clear yourself of it. And that goes over into here as into what we have been trying to control as fire signs, is why I say we. What you're trying to control for the month of August in the sense of love is the spiritual law of attraction in Melchizedek. And Melchizedek, if you're not familiar with him, he's a high level magician, priest, king, allegedly the teacher of Abraham. So with the law of attraction is you need to control um, if you want positive changes as your result for what's coming in, you're going to have to do it through the law of attraction. You can't be playing petty games with people and situations. You're going to have to monitor your energetic output. If you're going to be wanting a better situation, then you need to move better towards that situation. And sometimes that means exiting a current situation. So love is there. It's on the table. We just have to speak it into existence and stop being dominated by the wanting to be in a relationship or wanting to be with somebody or just wanting to have that sense of peace. And I see a lot of people out here, and I mean even myself fall prey to it. A lot of people have this sense of marriage. I just must be married. I must have that programming that we've been beaten into of I have to have a wife or a husband in some people's case, and 2.5 kids and a dog and a white picket fence. No, you need to attract in what's going to be appeasing to your soul and not what is going to be pleasing to the societal view of what makes you whole. So, soul versus whole. Didn't mean to rhyme, but it's there, so we're going to take it. All right, and then the last element we have over here, which is what you need to be trying to create or cultivate. And this is the yoga card in reverse by Baji. Again, if you know anything about me, not all reverses are reversals. This one, the Moses card, I'm taking as a reversal. You need to stop trying to control things. In this one, with yoga, if you think about yoga as a source of meditation and a way to clear your mind and to loosen your body and also to bring you back into a state of health, you need to do that. You need to be creating situations that bring you peace. We'll look at yoga as basically a vessel for peace. So what you need to be trying to cultivate for the month of August, and I speak from this personally, as a fire sign, we get hot-headed, we want what we want to go to war. If you piss us off or if you rub us the wrong way, then our passion gets out of control and it can create more situations on top of situations. So this is basically saying kind of like sit back, relax, cross your legs, bring yourself into a state of peace, bring your health back into the forefront, bring your mindfulness into the forefront, take care of you a little bit better, create yourself to be what you're trying to attract. Because you can come over here and start playing law of attraction, but if you're still carrying old programs and nasty habits and passive aggressive ways and manipulative ways, you're only going to attract more of the same. So before you get fully into trying to control that law of attraction, you need to create a state of peace that can facilitate and foster in those proper energies. So not necessarily a bad reading for August for a fire sign, because I mean we can be excuse my language, balls to the wall. It is what it is. And we are in Leo, and we're coming into August. The Lion's Gate is, allegedly open, 8-8 coming up, and that is, the pinpoint of the Lion's Gate of abundance. So if you're going to be playing Law of Attraction right now and bringing in abundant energy, you need to be at a state of health that can bring in positive changes and understand that you won't be able to control everything, but you can control yourself. So not bad for some fire signs. Again, that's Aries, Leos, and Sagittarius. Um, I'll end this one here. Peace and wholeness. This will be good up until the end of August, but I do have to point out that Mercury retrograde ends on the 19th. So do not read too much into any of your situations and any of your arguments until then. People have a tendency to fall prey to those energies of Mercury retrograde, and things that they've been bottling in may come out incorrectly. So some things aren't going to fall into that category, but just be smart about what you're holding on to over these next couple of weeks. Peace and wholeness.